Ladies and gentlemen, our first match is a tag team match set for one fall.
Yeah, some great shows, but it wasn't a regular thing, and you know, I don't know, was it feasible to do a regular thing with those big names or whatever, but...
And when I found out that Celtic Championship Wrestling were opening up a school of Cork, I was like, oh, only an hour, 20 minutes down the road. Ross Brown was training, and I was with NWR, and I went to Chin.
Whenever we take the time to breathe, and if I let you tonight, I promise you I'll make this right. You need to know that you haven't seen your best of me.
This is the story of one promoter's vision and one wrestler's dream. This is Celtic Championship Wrestling, chasing the dream. So what do you think of professional wrestling? You would think Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. But more recently, Irish superstars have gone over to America and made a name for themselves. Names like Sheamus, Finn Balor and Becky Lynch. I have gone down to Celtic Championship Wrestling in Ballyphehane Community Centre to find out where the next group of superstars are. I talked to promoter Lee Callahan in the CCW gym to find out what started his passion for professional wrestling and why he started Celtic Championship Wrestling, the promotion.
There hadn't been wrestling in Cork for a long time. And in
probably since the IWW days, probably.
Yeah, it was actually Irish Whip that I promoted those two shows back in 2009.
Okay.
And I guess then I kind of saw other companies. There was a few companies in Dublin as well I went to see, and I liked some of the talent, and I was really surprised with how much of an actual scene there was. We had fantastic wrestlers, Fergal Devitt, Paul Tracy, even going back to, Sheamus, all those guys, Bingo Balance, there's just so many great wrestlers, Joe Cabray, there's a list goes on, Paul Tracy, if I haven't mentioned him, just so many great wrestlers, and, I just from there kind of decided, this could be something that might interest the fans of Cork, because I know there was a couple of shows back in the day in Cork, in Neptune Stadium and stuff like that, but it was very sporadic. You might have one show where Bret Hart and Sabu were there, and then you won't see another show for 4 years.
That's the American
the American Wrestling Rampage, some great shows, but it wasn't a regular thing, and I don't know, was it feasible to do a regular thing with those big names or whatever, but I decided back in 2012 to, promote a show as a tester, just to see what was happening. I actually rented the ring from another promotion, brought down the who's who of Irish wrestling, and it was very well taken to by the Cork people. And from there I promoted another show, and I promoted another show. Then I bought my own ring, and I promoted another show and another show and another show, and here we are almost 4 years later. So it just, I suppose it's like anything, it's almost like an addiction really, once you get really into it. And I think for me, like I always wanted to be a wrestler, like I said, going back to the start there, and it just wasn't feasible. I did a few camps and stuff back in the day, but it just wasn't feasible for me to travel to Dublin or to Bray every single week. And then finally as well, we actually set up our own school, and that's been running over 2 years now. We've got some great talents coming out of the school, and that's when I really got into it, because there's not a week that I don't train, and I just love it. I really love it.
First question is, how were you introduced to wrestling?
At a very early age. My grandfather introduced me to wrestling. World of Sport, massive World of Sport.
Wow.
So him and my grandmother, I actually went to some of the shows over in the UK. I actually have tickets of the actual World of Sport from the UK, so that was my first memory, just fucking...
So how old do you want to be? Normally, what, 2, 3, 4?
Since I can remember. Yeah. That's when I was introduced to it, Like my first ever memory was probably 94, 95. The old entrance of the lighted entrance. Yeah. That's just so vivid in my mind, like watching that and watching Mr. Perfect walking out and all the lads. So yeah, I was just kind of born into it kind of thing, you know. So, and I never grew out of it. So,
when did it change to becoming you actually seriously going to become a professional?
probably in school. There was no schools available to me, training schools, so I decided, why not do backyard wrestling? Backyard wrestling, I suppose, I was probably the most influential backyarder. They're all still there, available.
How many people did it?
Oh, we had so many people, because I used to run it in school, so I was in school St. Paul's, so I had literally people coming up to me on a daily basis. When can I come up? When can I go training? Or when can I do the show? Because we actually had a pretty good setup, like, you know, we used to rent a room in Tyker. So we got the room, and we even got mats from the school, crash mats. We got the gymnastic mats. So you know, we had a good little spot. Then we had a chap as well who loved, you know, directing, filming. So he used to record all our shows and edit them, and we had a pretty good setup, like, you know. And back then, like, probably our setup was better than some of the stuff you'd see back then from like the professional lads, like, do you know what I mean? Or editing and recording and so on. So yeah, it's just from there, like, you know, we got really hardcore, like, you know what I mean? But I had to stop then after a while. People were getting seriously injured. Had broken arms, broken legs. One of the lads, we did a slam through, it's called a floorboard, laminate floorboard. It sliced right through his leg. So, and it was the cleanest slice ever. No blood, but you could literally open his leg and see his bone. So I was thinking to myself, like, it was all on me, you know. So I was thinking, this is getting a bit heavy.
Obviously you must have got angry parents. Like,
well, no, because not really angry parents. It was like, you know, they go back to the parents and say, I was on a swing, or I was playing
so they can tell.
No, not at all. And then it started getting a bit more attraction as well, so we started letting people in to watch the shows.
Yeah.
And then it started travelling.
And were you charged?
Yeah,
people
of course, yeah, all went in my pocket as well. As it does. Too right. But so I started getting big crowds and stuff, and I was thinking, this is a bit heavy, like, we're not professionals, we're not insured. So the minute I left the Leaving Cert then, I looked up schools and I saw either Irish Whip or NW Ireland. Irish Whip was in Dublin, and NW Ireland was in Wicklow. I was only a learner driver at the time, so I couldn't go on the motorway, so Irish Whip was out the road. So I took the coast road every week, every Sunday. I went up to NW Ireland. Without a doubt, still standing.
He was trained there at the time.
This is a great one as well. Every Sunday you'd go up there, and like, the head trainer was like, you'd have Paul Tracy, Phil Boyd, Maxer, Jordan, Danny Butler, Justin Braid, Jordan Devlin. You know, it was crazy. You take it for granted now, but back then you were just, you know what I mean, you didn't really think much of it. So, you know, we're doing drills and that, like, you're standing next to either Max or Jordan, you're just doing drills with the lads, like, you know what I mean, like, just on a normal Sunday. What an experience, like.
What is a typical fight week like for you?
Fight week for me is gym, harder than ever. Dieting, which I find the hardest, you know what I mean? It is tough.
Because presumably be working as well.
Yeah, they have a full-time job as well, you know what I mean? So trying to get the gym, the job, and the dieting and everything all in, and fight week, it can be nerve-wracking as well, especially when you're working with lads that, you know, you've never worked with. For an example, I'm working out tomorrow with Swiss guys, you know what I mean, never worked with them before, so, you know, it's kind of an excited kind of nervousness, you know what I mean, so it's just like, it's all you think about all week, like, do you know what I mean, and so, then of course, things like getting your tan. I don't do a fake tan, I go on the sunbeds, roast myself. I haven't actually shaved my chest or armpits since October, so I had a bit of a problem this week. I decided to get hair removal cream. Never again. Right now I'm covered in hair and patches, and
go for a few pints and chat about how
the
show is, you know, and hopefully nobody got injured.
Today was show day, and Xavier was tagging with Adrian Jonathan's of Heel Group The Establishment against Carl Bryan and Kurt Simmons. What I didn't know at the time was going to be a big twist for Darren in the middle of the show. Xavier lost his tag match, but that was not the last time I saw Xavier in the ring that particular evening. After Marion lost his match to Bingo Balance, Lee, as leader of the establishment, ordered another CCW All-Star match between Bingo and his opponent, Xavier Burns. And Xavier came out on top to win his first ever singles title in Celtic Championship Wrestling.
In the aftermath, I caught up with Darren and his representative Tony Kelly as they boasted about Darren's first singles title as the CCW All-Star Champion.
Oh, how ironic it is that a man called the Messiah came and saved CCW from the lies and bullshittery that is Bingo Balance. You know, I stood in a CCW ring not 3 months ago and I said that I had somebody who was going to take the All-Star title away from Bingo. And here we stand, Tony Kelly and Xavier Burns, and what's around his shoulder? The CCW All-Star title. Bingo, these people out there, you may have fooled them, but you didn't fool us. Because previously I had another client. You remember him?
I do.
I came in here and myself and him, we took another title in CCW away from Bingo Balance. And you said that night that you would leave forever. But yet tonight you were still here to defend the title. So you're a liar. So maybe the embarrassment of this loss will drive you out of this company and away from us for good this time. But this one is so much sweeter, lads. You see, it's so much sweeter because this isn't just a client. This man is my friend. And we're putting Irish wrestling on notice. Not just CCW, but the whole of Irish wrestling. Tell him why, Xavier.
This is exactly why. Not only is the CCW locker room on notice, the entire Irish professional wrestling scene is on notice. I'm issuing a challenge to anybody and everybody. Come step in the ring with Xavier Burns.
I also caught up with Lee afterwards as he wrestled his own match in the show and how he thought the show went.
Well, it's been an hour since my match, so you can imagine that if I'm still taking off my gear, that it was a hard-fought battle. And that's actually no stretch of the imagination, because I actually went in with a busted ankle in the match. Had to tape up my ankle before the match. And did a bit of a dive in the match, which didn't go according to plan, and I ended up somersaulting from the ring to the floor. So now my back is injured now as well. Did the show meet up to my expectations? Yeah. I mean, look, I think I said it to you already, Keith. I mean, we're drawing some good crowds, and tonight we proved that. Another solid crowd. The fans are very invested in the product, and that's all that matters to me. It's great to see the familiar faces, the guys that we work with here in CCW. Guys coming over down from Dublin. Our own guys from the academy. The wrestlers we bring in from the other countries as well. So it's great to, I suppose, socialise with them as well, and I suppose enjoy together. I hope you enjoyed the show.
I did.
I did my best to put my body on the line for your entertainment anyway, and
I will say this, you've probably pretty much written the last kind of 5-10 minutes of the documentary with Xavier Burns winning the belt.
Yeah.
That's pretty much single-handedly helps me no way. So you probably have booked my documentary.
Fantastic. That's what it's all about. But Xavier Burns is a great wrestler. We have a lot of great wrestlers that are coming out of the academy now. Xavier's been a big enthusiast of wrestling for a long time, and it's good for him to get an opportunity and to be rewarded for his efforts. It's not just Xavier either. It's we have so many trainees. Marion Armstrong, Ricky Combat, Omega. I mean, they're all really. They've got a lot of potential, and I'm sure a lot of them are going to do a lot of big things.
Xavier is chasing his dream, and now he won his first singles championship in Celtic Championship Wrestling. Lee is chasing his dream and becoming the biggest promoter in Ireland, and he's now presenting regular sold-out shows in Cork, and he's hoping to expand nationally this year. And the fans are the real winners. They get to see the superstars of the present and the future. This has been Celtic Championship Wrestling, chasing the dream.